Aliens. And again, it's a win and you're in the playoffs kind of scenario. Jim Jackson, Lisa Byington, Brian Scalabrine here with us. We're crunching the numbers, right, on who's in. Now, killer threes, still not mathematically out.
Nope.
Losers of game one will take you through that as the game goes by. But the formula is simple for Power and for Aliens. You win and you're off to next weekend.
But this is what you want if you're Ice Cube and Jeff Quatnitz in the league, is that you want it to come down to the last week. Because we already know probably three-headed monsters, they're there. But everything else is you had a lot of moving parts. And that's what you want, the competitive nature, the balance, that teams have something to play for in the last week. And again, put yourself in a position to do what? You win, you move on. Now, Aliens still, if they drop it, still can get in mathematically, but a lot of things have to happen.
Deshaun Bullitt playing against his former team. You got to do that game in week 6 between these two teams.
No, it's a reason why Aliens are in the position they are, because Bullitt, one of the top FIBA 3-on-3 European players that played the game, kind of brought that style to the Aliens this year. With his aggressive play to get downhill, to make shots, to distribute, is why they're able to get in. It's going to be an interesting game to see if they can get some get back.
Power won that matchup, as I mentioned, here in week 6, and Glenn Rice Jr. had been named the player of the week because of his performance in week 7. You take a look at what he was able to do.
Well, but much needed, because Cat is not having the same impact to Tino Mobley that he's had in the past. So this is where drafting and understanding the player pool is very important. Nancy Lieberman picked a great one here with Glenn Rice Jr. to be able to come in and do his thing, and it's just been awesome to see. Can it continue? We'll see this afternoon.
BIG3 Heat Vision, powered by Microsoft. What do you see?
A lot of shots being made. A lot of buckets. But that's why you go out and get them. And this is the beauty about this, where he's making a shot. Shooters shoot the ball a lot longer. See where his misses are long. You don't see shots being short, which is good for Glenn Rice Jr.
The roster is presented by PNC Bank. TJ Klein had that game-winning bucket. They named it Richmond, right, where he played for 3 years against the Aliens, and that international flavor that the Aliens have played with all season long. Nancy Lieberman won that championship in 2018, was the BIG3 Coach of the Year. And in year number 4 as the Power head coach, up against Rick Mahorn, the bad boy, 18 seasons in the NBA. And his second year as the Aliens head coach, and I like the wrinkle that he's thrown in with this international flavor with this team this year.
He's made the adjustments. Think about this. When he won with Trilogy early on the first year, it was all about power, power, power. This is a different kind of situation with the Aliens. It's a little bit more ball movement, not as physical, relying on jump shots, and hence it's been successful. So he's made the coaching adjustment from the time that he started to where he's at right now.
You see the key rules. Again, the first to 50, you got to win by 2. Foul situations, it depends on where you are on the floor. So you could shoot a foul shot worth 2 points, 3 points, or even 4 points. You got the 3 4-point circles that you see here on the floor, 30 feet away. All you need is like a shoelace or a shoe or anything. Fingertip, if you reach down, any body part touching one of those 3 circles. Royce White.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Stevens has been so key to the success, right, of the Aliens here this year.
Yeah, offensively and defensively.
This is an Aliens team, let's not forget, just right on cue, Stevens gets the 2. This Aliens team didn't play last week, right?
No,
so they've been sitting around for a little bit. Three-headed Monsters and Aliens had last week as a bye. So the last time they did play was week 6 against Power. That double team coming, and Royce White owning that double team that time.
Yeah, but it was an isolation play for Royce to go one-on-one. I thought Stevens did a good job kind of plucking it away, but it bounced right back to Royce, who was able to use his big body, create some space, and dropping a nice little jump hook.
So Rick can shoot that 3-point shot. One of the better 3-point shooters here in the league. Pump fake into 2-point territory. Las Manas couldn't handle it.
Trying to stay disciplined and Bullitt right there is going to be tough because he can't knock it in. That time Royce White went for the pump fake. Fortunately for Power, we weren't able to convert.
Las Manas going to be whistled for the tie-up between him and Rice Jr.
When they see it down low right here, both guys get a big call for a foul. No matter which one you want to call.
Well, you saw the physicality here in game number 1. We're starting out with a physical play here in game number 2. Now, it is possible. Aliens lose this game. It's still possible for the Aliens to get to the playoffs. Rice Jr. taking that contact, that soft shot, just rims out, but it's White with the follow.
And Stevens just missed time now. And White able to clean up the loose change right there.
The Aliens, they can't lose this game. If they do lose, they can't lose this game by 10 or more.
We should have Scal talk about that.
You know,
that scenario.
I'm quoting Scal, actually. So if this is wrong, you can all hit up Scal.
Well, how many times did Scal run back and forth?
Like 4 or 5 times at least.
Because he wanted to make sure we got the scenarios right.
I think it's because he didn't get his workout in. He's going back and forth.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go again with the workout. Let me tell you.
What?
It's simple. I clarified it. You guys are the talent on air. Here's the deal. Aliens, if they lose, they have to lose by 9 or less. If they lose by more, they're out. Going home. Gone fishing. It's over.
If we're the talent, Scal, what are you?
Accessories.
You see how he said not accessory, accessories, plurals.
Yeah, one accessory.
Oh, you just one accessory.
That's one.
Okay.
That's all I do.
All right.
Las Manos for 3. And White tips it to himself for the rebound. Here's Cat. Cat in the corner.
Pull up.
Mobley gets out of it.
That's good defense. Las Manos right there on Cat. Beautiful move by Bullet right there.
Yeah, you talk about physical guards, right? He is so good at taking that contact.
But playing in Europe, too, I think, in 3-on-3, look at his body. He's not going to blaze by you with quickness. You know, athletically, he's not going to jump over you. But he knows how to use his body. He knows angles. He knows how to initiate contact. And more importantly, if you get up on him, he can make a play to his teammate.
One shot for 2 points for Bullet. That one rims out. Tight rims here for him. Number 1 in the Big 3 and assists per game for Bullet. Rice Jr. gets a look. And Stevens chases it down. No subs yet for both of these teams. Still early in game number 2.
That's good defense by Rice Jr. Kind of used his chest to body up to Stevens, who had a little bit of a size advantage. Cat in there familiar.
How many times have you seen that lefty stroke?
Too many times. I saw it a lot too because I played with him in Houston, so I was able to witness it up close and personal. But he got to a spot right there. Good play call up that time by Nancy Lieberman to get Cat 15 feet.
He's been honest about dealing with an Achilles strain too, so playing through this, not 100% healthy. Las Manos draws the foul.
But you know the difference? If you go back to Cat, why he's looking good? They're 3-1, okay, since starting 1-2. I talked to Nancy Lieberman before the game. She said, listen, I said, why have you been able to focus here? She said, she asked her players to commit. Commit to what? Staying in Dallas for the last 3 weeks, not leaving.
Ah, really?
Yes. Stay here. What it did with Coutinho, he didn't have to worry about flying, which swells up his Achilles and everything else.
Yeah.
He's able to get treatment here. So the team committed to staying in Dallas to work together and focus on winning, and hence they won.
They got good chemistry like that.
Great chemistry.
Yeah.
And you add in Skeeter's Veely, his turnaround in the last 4 games, what he's been able to do. Nancy had him like playing one-on-one, playing pickup basketball here
against
in Dallas.
Nancy?
No, just playing pickup basketball at local gyms around here.
Gotcha.
And hence is paying off for power.
I would pay to watch Nancy, and she calls him Nick. I'd pay to watch that one-on-one.
I think Nancy still can get some buckets.
No doubt. Rice Jr. picks up the foul against Bullet. Yeah, well, you mentioned it, Jimmy. 1-2 at the start of the year, 3-1 since.
But the commitment, I think, for Nancy, she wanted to have her players buy in. You buy in by staying here for the last 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Away from your families, but that's important to them.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks of Big 3 basketball played in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, the middle stretch after week 2 until now, week 8, played in Dallas. So there was a lot of going back and forth to get to Dallas from home for a lot of these players, coaches, teams. And the Final Four will play next week in Tampa, and then it's Atlanta for an all-star game in the championship in week number 10. Three-point edge here for Power. It's that ball movement, right? You got to contend with defensively when you take on the aliens.
Well, it's because they keep you spread, and it's like, okay, do I help on the pick and roll? If I hedge too much, it's a backdoor cut, because aliens are really good at getting off the ball. And then if you're slow in rotation, it's either an open three-point shot or you got something at the rim, or maybe Stevens on the second shot opportunity because the defense has been spread out.
Off the glass, count it, and one. What an angle. What a shot for TJ Klein.
TJ at 6'9", able to take it right over the top right here. I don't know if his mom might have taught him this shot right here, gave him a nice little touch off the glass right there. Talking about an addition to the team that's been valuable for Power. Point back to TJ's play as well.
Yeah, the game-winning shot I mentioned at the top, but they had worked on it against the aliens in week 6. I was just watching your post-game interview, and they called it Richmond.
Oh, yeah.
He played at Richmond for 3 years.
Well, that slip screen, I mean, just works.
We will take a quick timeout. 13-7. TJ Klein and Power so far with the advantage. Regular season Power and Aliens in game number 2 here on CBS. Jimmy Jackson, Lisa Byington, Brian Scalabrine with you. TickPick is proud to be the official secondary ticket marketplace of the Big 3. Why pay extra for tickets when you can get the same seats for better prices on TickPick? Download the app to get the guaranteed best prices on tickets to any live event. No services fees, period. Final week of the regular season, which means final week here in Dallas, Texas. It's been the home of Big 3 basketball. Royce White, 10 points now. That was the easiest one he might get all day.
Yeah, but it was a cross screen that was going to be run for Evosef, I think it was, and he got knocked down. So when Bullet threw the pass, no one was there for Royce White. Easiest shooting probably get all afternoon.
Bullet checks his feet. That's a three-point attempt.
Nice. Oh.
Grab it, grab the ball.
Evosef drops it off there to Stevens.
That's just staying with it. Evosef had that layup. Just, it was a 2-foot layup. He shot 3 feet.
That's what you did there.
What happened? That's some good math.
That's Ohio State number for you, right?
Yeah, that's that Scalabrine math right there. We put everything together right there. Right there, right, Scal. 2 feet, 3, 4.
I know that math all the way. I've done that plenty of times.
Power on a 12-2 run to stretch this lead out. Again, according to Scal's math, if Aliens does lose this one, 10 or more points is what we're talking about. They would be eliminated, but 9 or fewer, and they would be in.
A lot of game left here.
A lot of game, yes, sir.
A lot of game. But
keep that on your radar.
Yeah, you got to keep it. You got to keep an eye on that too. I like it. I like it.
Klein, that spin move.
And then you gave them too little. But you know, so Buller's going to go at you off the dribble. Klein has the advantage on the post. You spread it out a little bit. Now you got to force the aliens to make a adjustment defensively on how they're going to guard Klein. Are they going to help a little bit or not? And that's the second open shot that Bullet missed. But watch this. You feel the body right there. You know the baseline is open. And why that's important, Lisa, Klein posted up off the block a little bit more, which gave him more room to spin to the baseline. Now he has the angle off the glass.
Some of those spacing issues that really comes into play with 3-on-3. Klein left it short.
Well, if you maintain your spacing, there's a lot of real estate for your your opponents to have to cover.
Deshaun Stevens, Skidishvili, who's checked into the game. First time, picks up the push and foul.
You're talking about Skidishvili. Look, his first 3 games, 0 points, 2 points, 4 points.
How about that?
You know?
And then week 5, 8 points. Week 6, 11 points against this Aliens team.
That's right. But his physical presence has been better. So you chart why power has gotten better. One, the commitment by the team to kind of stay huddled up and stay. But the play of Skidishvili, too. Him being more aggressive, more assertive, using that big body.
We have a technical foul, Tim.
Was it on Royce or was it on?
We'll try to figure that out.
Okay.
All right, now you like to dance.
We'll sort it all out. We'll have Scale go to work to sort it out for us. How about that? We'll take a timeout.
We want to see your moves. See if you can groove. Come on now. Hey. Infrared, turn that up, man. Let's go. Who got the move? Hey.
How about the floss here in Dallas?
Can you do that?
I'm not that coordinated, Jimmy. I've tried.
I ain't even tried, bro. It
You
is.
haven't even tried?
No.
Okay.
I like a fool.
How about this? Each week, fans can help select not the best flosser, right, but the Microsoft BIG3 Player of the Week. You can go online to big3.com or BIG3 social media accounts to vote. We'll reveal the results from Week 8. That's coming up next Sunday when the playoffs begin in Tampa. We're told that technical foul was on Glenn Rice Jr.
Okay.
Ivosev, nice move.
Yeah, good patience though. Because TJ was trying to body up Ivosev a little bit more, but Ivosev, he got 2 feet in the paint. Nice little spin move on balance.
Bullet's second assist. He's in the, wow, what a challenge. Attention too for setting that single season assist record, as well as Royce White, by the way.
Well, I mean, Bullet, you see, Rice Jr. gets to the cup. It was isolation. Now to bring the fire.
Felt like that might be coming.
Yeah, you felt it?
I did. From Rick Mahorn. Challenge on a shooting foul. 2 players go one-on-one. This will count as 2 points. It's the area of the court that you're fouled at, and each team gets 1 challenge per half. So the Aliens using their bring the fire challenge here, and the foul committed against Deshaun Stevens, which means that 2 points will go to Power.
But you see how quickly Glenn Rice Jr. went into his move? So he forced Stevens to have to retreat, and then at the end he's reaching. But when you play with it too much, the advantage is going to lean heavily towards the defense, hence why the percentages of stops and successes on the defensive end rather than the offense. But that time, Rice Jr., excellent job of attacking early.
What would have been your bring the fire move?
Oh, I would have jabbed him, got him off, got to my sweet spot on my right hand. Either layup or I'm going to put him for a nice little shot. Go quick. Now, I'll tell you that now, I would have mixed things up, you know, scouting report. They would have got used to it. Try to take it away.
They call you out there for, right?
Nah, right now, my go-to move would be sitting right here next to you.
Blocked that time by Ivosev, who doesn't have to clear it. He can put it right back up.
I wonder what the percentages are with teams that take the lead in the half to how does that equate to winning? You know what I mean? Of having that. We see it right here. I think that's interesting stat to have because that momentum you have coming out in the second half and another isolation opportunity for Glenn Rice Jr.
What would be your guess is that the team who's leading at half, mostly the high percentage, finishes it off?
Yeah, but I wonder what that number looks like. You know, is it closer than what we may think? Is it 51-49 that they do?
And I just actually, this week I went back and watched the championship that you guys did last year, and it's interesting because Trilogy was trailing, right, at halftime.
At halftime.
So,
at halftime.
And that's not something that happens a high majority of the time, but that was an interesting game to go back and watch against. Well, it's a 9-point edge right now. Again, the first to 25, and we get to halftime, and so Power just a point away from that. Ivo Sev at the free throw line.
Well, I mean, this game is eerily similar to the other game in which Power, the points are spread out, 10, 7, 5, 2. 3 players were in double figures for Power in that win. It has the same kind of feel right now if you're Nancy Lieberman and Power.
They tried to stifle the ball movement of Aliens, right? 17
Exactly.
points here. Ivo Sev makes it 19 for the Aliens.
And it feels like Power should be up more, like this should be already at the half, but again, it's only a 5-point game, so Aliens doing a really good job of kind of weathering the storm, so to speak, when their slow offensive start to kind of get this game back within balance.
Track and assist, Bullet just one off. There's a finish from Rice Jr. to send us to halftime. A solid first half performance by Power over Aliens. One last look at this bucket. Glenn Rice Jr. gets us to the half, 26-19. Power over Aliens. We'll return to Dallas after these messages and a word from your local station.
American Home Shield keeps your home up and running and your budget on track. Learn more at ahs.com.
Halftime in game number 2 between Power and Aliens, 26-19. Just before the half, a little extracurricular, Jimmy Jackson.
You think this means something? It
definitely means
I'm
something.
telling you. That's the original bad boy himself, Rick Mahorn and Catino.
Who's still letting them all know he's got his bad boy card.
No, I love it though. I mean, it ain't gonna happen, but
Royce White went to work early in the first
he did. But the beauty about Royce White is this, and this is what Nancy has been trying to get. Move the basketball, you move, and now you're gonna have easier opportunities. Royce is at his best when the ball gets reversed and then he goes, not just when he's pounding, because he's second in the league in assists.
Scouts with the commish, Clyde Drexler.
All right, I'm here with Clyde Drexler. Now let's kind of shift gears here for a second. The basketball community lost a legend, and you had a chance to get to know Bill Russell. What was your guys' relationship like initially?
Well, to know Bill was to love him. Bill was an avid activist, human rights and civil rights. He was a trailblazer. He meant so much because he stood for something. He was the manhood. He's the patriarch of the modern day basketball. Bill was way ahead of his time. Obviously, the things he's done on the court speaks for themselves, but off the court, he was equally as successful and so much of a mentor for so many players behind him.
All right, thanks, Clyde.
And well said from a man who knew Bill Russell really, really well.
Well, to think about that era of athlete, and I say this from an African-American perspective, keep this in mind. The reason why the advocacy is a lot different in today's world is that the athletes don't live in the same community in which stuff is going on. Back then, Bill Russell, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, they lived in Malcolm X, they lived in those communities. So the things that were going on socially touched them because they saw it and felt it every day. They weren't removed from. That's why it was a deeper connection at that time, and they were able to connect with the community on a daily basis. That's what made them special.
It goes way beyond what sport they took place in.
And that's not to say that the advocacy of what players are doing today is not sincere, but you don't touch the community the same way when you don't live there. And I'm a product of that.
We showed you that scuffle right before the half. Want to get you caught up. There was a double technical foul called, one on Rick Mahorn and one on Cat. So those are offsetting technical fouls. So we play on here in the second half.
But I wonder what precipitated that.
Who said what to what?
Yeah, how it started.
Words exchanged.
Yeah, because the basket was made by Rice Jr. Then he was going back to the bench and saying some things. He may have said something to the Aliens bench which could have stopped. Now, again, I'm just surmising on what could have happened.
And we got Cat with the foul. A little too much body on Bullet.
Hey, Scout, did you have any idea what you saw everything from that side of how it kind of got started?
Yeah, Glenn Rice was just talking smack to the bench, and Rick Mahorn took it personal, which that's the bad boy himself, so I could see that. And then Rick went over there and just wanted to take on the whole power team. So that's how he rolls.
That's how he rolls.
Cat got the rebound. Las Manas with the foul, I believe. Yeah, and so it'll be Power who takes it out on the sideline.
Hey, Jim, let me ask you a question. You talked about Power like playing together, and you have Aliens coming off a bye week. Doesn't it look like one team is locked in and one team is sort of disconnected right now?
Well, but also to keep in mind, and this is what goes back to Power being together, one team playing, like you said, but also being here together. They're able to work on some things during the course of the week too. You know, plus they play, so they have a rhythm to your point.
Especially the way Aliens plays, right? You need that connectivity.
You do. You do.
Flow, the cuts. What we've seen from them this year.
Oh, no.
Oh, four-pointer. Rice Jr. fills it up for four.
Yeah, it went right to Nancy Lieberman. Dapped her up real quick. You know, it's funny watching Nancy because she seems calm at times, and she was a fiery player. I was like, where does that come from? She said, I just trust my players. I want them to be a part of the game planning. I trust that they're going to do the right thing, so that allows me to coach a certain way.
She's got a fiery message, though, sometimes.
Oh, no, she does.
You got, you know, her mic'd up.
Don't get it twisted.
Something to listen to. Bullet.
Nice tip that time.
Yeah, White and Rice tipping it back and forth between those two teammates. A 15-point edge. That's significant. Aliens can't lose by more than 10. White can't get the finish. Killer threes lost in that first game. They're big Power fans right now. Evo Seth with that turnaround.
How many times have we seen Evo Seth get the mismatch and go quick? And that's the key when you have a smaller opponent. Don't play with it.
Three-headed monsters competing for the #1 seed. That game will be on YouTube and DAZN after this one. Trilogy winners of the game #1. And Trilogy is in the playoffs for next weekend as Glenn Rice Jr. picks up the foul. But let's go back to that four-pointer.
No, he just walked his way right into it and actually got hit at the end. The Las Manas, and look, Nancy like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And Nancy is smart too because she went right back to Glenn Rice Jr. in the isolation because you have Cat in the corner that can shoot it. And you have Royce kind of out in the corner, so you keep the spread, and Rice able to break down the defense and get himself to the free throw line.
Big lead for Lieberman and Power. 30.
Oh, it gave up a backdoor cut. And it didn't cost him the game, but Nancy got on him and actually in film session showed him. I said, listen, Glenn, we can't have you do that. We need you engaged and locked in. He was like, you know what? My fault, my bad. It never happened. So, again, the coaching of these men and how you compensate and bring out and you challenge them is what Nancy does so well.
And again, the wins have proven it.
Yep.
Too, with we've talked about their connectivity. Rice Jr. tosses it up. 3-1 since starting 1-2 on the season here for Power. The corner nearly got that one. White chases it down. Got a timeout call by Nancy Lieberman. And we will be back in 30. Still 38-23. First to 50. Got to win by 2. Welcome back to Big 3 on CBS, 38-23. Power trying to draw something up after calling that timeout. Maybe they got a 4-point play in their books. So today's monster moment. We're getting our money's worth out of this shot.
Yo, you walk off home run, right there. Just walk right into it, Glenn Rice Jr. But the concentration to finish through the contact, you hear Nancy Lieberman right there coaching them up. Hey, Scal, for you playing the game, we talk about different coaching styles. Nancy is direct, but she talks, she understands the player. What was the best kind of coach for you in regards to how they handled you as a player?
Direct.
Right.
I can't do the other thing. It's not good for me. I got to have people yelling at me every single day.
So that's what happens at home with you and your wife, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you get the best at it.
So we just can't let you wander off and do your own thing.
No, you got to tell me every day what you want me to do, and I'm okay with it. I don't do passive aggressive.
I love it.
13-point advantage here for Power. Fade away there for Klein. Air ball.
But why would Steven save it?
Hey, I got your back.
Oh, you know what? That was really
you
good.
Looked away. You looked away. You want me to give me the ball back?
Look, she won't even give me the ball. Look. See, you missed it right here.
Who am I giving it to?
I don't know.
Nobody wants
You're not giving it to me.
No,
You're the point guard.
I'm not going to give it to you.
You're the point guard. I'm the scorer.
We got the official here.
Give me the ball. I stole it.
It's right here. Yo, it's right here. It's right here. He's like, where'd the ball go?
Come look for the score. It's over here. It's right here. I had it. You were not giving me that rock. You were like this. You was like.
Your was horrible.
Yeah, I know. That's 51, babe. 51.
51 years old?
That's right. Yeah, 51.
The two. I'll feed you all you want.
Thank you. I appreciate
Pass first
it.
point guard. I got your back.
There you go. Nice.
That's a ball movement we know aliens to do.
But that's the shot you want to give up, too. You want Stevens to be spaced, and you give it up.
A whistle before the shot. And a foul there on Bullet.
You know, in that last play was an example of the offense doing what they needed to do, which is get the shot, but it was also the defense forcing them and not giving up that shot outside, knowing that may be the case.
First to 50 wins it, got to win by 2. Power sitting at 40, and Mobley gets bumped considerably by Ivosev.
Well, this has just been a dominant performance by Power.
We got to bring the fire challenge.
Who you got?
That's a good one. I like Cat.
I think Cat goes with the 2-dribble pull-up game.
Okay.
Going to his right.
Going to his right.
So he's able to lean a little bit with his shot.
All right.
Oh, he can't do that.
You got to get him. You got to set up. And Tomislav Ivosev. It's got to be behind that. You got to inside that arc defensively.
Yep.
Our officials are all over it. McClenny, Mondeep, Samra, Ivan, Zakarian.
Who's gonna bring it? Bring the fire!
You can't take a 3-point shot and bring the fire. You got a 10-second shot clock. He's going left side, then he turns back to the right. We got a foul call.
Oh, he's going to come.
So they're going to count the 2 points.
Okay, but again, see how quickly Cat went into his move. Okay? Set him up by going left. He came back and wanted to get to his right. Because that's, from a lefty perspective, you can shoot that shot fading away a lot easier. Because you know why? Your left shoulder is pointed right to the rim. And that's what Cat wanted to get to. Ultimately picked up the foul, got to 2.
So you win the call and I win the call. And Cat wins the call.
Boom. There we go.
42-25. Again, Power wins. There's some math to do. Killer threes still eligible right now to try to make the playoffs. There's a fadeaway for Deshaun Stevens. flying, chasing his own miss.
Well, he knew he missed that as soon as he let it go. He went right after. Oh, beautiful move that time by Royce Wright. Just couldn't finish.
He's got that unique release, too.
Right?
With his shot. There's a good pump fake. Ivo Seth with the reverse. Pretty move.
He's been very effective on the block. Been patient with his moves, and then, and more importantly, finish it all the way through to get the basket.
Again, Aliens trying to win this. And either one of these teams is in the playoffs, but Aliens trying to not lose by 10 or more here today.
And Bullock got away with a hole, but it was a bad passing angle that time by Royce Wright. One more dribble or two towards the sideline, he could have entered that ball right in the post easily, but good defense. Poor passing that time by Power.
Las Manos looking for that screen. Here's Stevens with the post up. Stevens! Take that!
Aliens kind of find a little bit more offensive rhythm, a little bit here.
Again, not only keeping track of who's going to win this one, but point differential.
Yep.
Plus 11 right now here for Power. Rice Jr., that quick shot. Ivo Seth.
Like it. Like it. I mean, and that's old school Rick Mahorn finding the weakness in the Power defense, which is on the switch a lot of times with Ivoshev on the block and then him just going to work. And he's been able to produce when the ball has come down to him. Right now, what is it, 12 points?
9 points. Now it's 11 points.
Well, I mean 12 points for Ivoshev.
Okay, I thought
Again, you said you were testing me in my OSU math. There you go. I know you were.
21 here for Rice
getting on
Jr.
me.
And Rice Jr. whistle for the foul.
I know one thing I could count though.
What's
2
that?
points, 3 points when I was playing.
You could,
Real
right?
easy, right?
Right. And if it goes in and if it goes out.
That's right.
Las Manos. Ivo Seth. He's got the spin
He got it going, man. But he's able to catch the ball so deep that he can just go right into his move.
Just dialed up the Serbian spin cycle.
He did. It's only a 9-point game.
That's the magic number, 9 or fewer here for Aliens. If they fall short, wow! TJ Klein just got an Alien sandwich, and he got eat up.
And I think maybe why they didn't call it the block occurred first before the contact, the block, and then. Oh, man. You got to be a grown man coming into the lane in this league. I tell you that.
Stevens looking to go off the bounce. Kind of running out of real estate, finds Las Manos. Lefty finish high off the glass.
Okay.
Here come the Aliens. A little bit of a run. Keeps going, 12-2. Winner gets a chance into the playoffs next weekend. Trilogy's already there. Three-headed monsters with the best record in the league is already there. Rice Jr. crosses over Stevens.
Wow, that's a foul. That was a foul.
Instead, it's a shot clock violation.
But it was a foul, but you know what's happened? Power has become stagnant offensively. So it plays right into the hands. Was that a foul? Yes. But their offense hasn't had the freedom of movement, and it's been easier for the Aliens to defend them.
7-point differential. Oh, spin move. Oh, and the block from White.
Yeah, but they couldn't take advantage of it. White tried to get it to Cat. Excellent play. First of all, by the spin move by Ivoshev, and then Royce Wright with the block. But watch at the end, right here. Beautiful move. And then he blocks it. Now he's trying to get it to Cat. And Stevens just sneaks right in and takes it away. Uh-oh.
Bring the fire.
You know what? you know, Nancy has a reason. I don't think I would have taken it right there. The reason why is Stevens is not a really good free throw shooter. So I would hedge towards forcing them to have to make it. In that aspect, it's saving maybe that bring the fire.
She likes to roll the dice a little bit. Power lost on a 4-point bring the fire last week. Stevens trying to lean in up against White. Stevens with that fadeaway. White got a piece.
See, I told you that's why I did. That's why I would bring it. That's exactly the same thing I would have done that. And
Mahorn's reaction. Rice Jr. off the miss. Lasmanis baseline is pure.
5-point game. See, it's been easy for Power up to this point. So now Aliens has tightened up the screws a little bit, and you see Power not as dialed in as they were, and a lot of times their momentum is tough to get back.
Blocking foul on the white tape. Vosev, the guilty party. Now again, if it stays like this with the point differential, both of these teams would be in the playoffs. Again, something to keep an eye on. A 13-2 run, though, to get Aliens back in this one.
But down the stretch of the game, Nisa, how important free throws are. To get up to the line, get yourself an opportunity to make 1 for 2. Got to take advantage of it. There it is. Give your opponent another opportunity to cut down on the lead when you miss those free throws. Guess who? Guess who?
That's who.
Guess who?
Boy, he's been the go-to. He's got 20. We will be back in 30 seconds. It's a 3-point game, just like that. Double-digit lead, and now it's down to 3, 44-41. TickPick is a proud official secondary ticket marketplace of the Big Three. Why pay extra for tickets when you can get the same seats for better prices on TickPick? Download the app to get the guaranteed best prices on tickets to any live event. No services fee, period. So Power has to get back to what, Jimmy Jackson?
A ball move. But Nancy is really good at drawing plays out of a timeout or out of a break, of getting a really good shot. So let's see what she has dialed up right here for Power. But you keep in mind, if the score stays where it's at with Aliens and Power goes on to win it, they're at 9 points. So what does that mean? They're in. At this point right now, they're in the playoffs.
They are. Rice Jr. out of that timeout. Went backboard, got his own miss, and puts it back, and one.
But you can't let that happen. If you're Aliens, it was Glenn Rice Jr. that shot the long shot. It came off, and he was able to get the rebound. Stevens, you didn't block out. Rice, you know, as a shooter, you know where it's coming. He just wanted a little bit more.
$23 points for Glenn Rice Jr. We got a foul on the loose ball on Cat. Fourth team foul here for Power. You got to get to 6 in order for Aliens to be able to shoot free throws. First team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2. Lasmanis lost it.
See, and that's where that physical play comes in. Basmanas had the angle, but just that little bump forced him to lose control of the block.
Cat is subbed out, and Klein subbed back in. 4-pointer could win it here for Power. We've got one here in this game from Glenn Rice Jr. Looking for White. Back to Glenn Rice Jr. Underneath the basket, White puts it up. Stevens with the follow. Didn't have to clear.
Well, a lot of contact there. I think Glenn Rice Jr. going to the basket knew he was going to get hit, which he did, but no call by the officials.
Winner to the playoffs. Rice Jr. for three. Gets it to 49 points.
For three.
Third round coverage of the Wyndham Championship coming up next on CBS, available at PGAtour.com and CBSSports.com.
I think they're reviewing if Glenn Rice Jr. was behind the line, whether it's a 2 or a 3. From that angle, we can't tell if that right foot, if that right toe is on the line.
Clenny, you can see him. He's the official that calls it a 3 there on the court.
From right there, it looked like
It looks like he's behind
it, yeah.
Well, if the call stands, we're at point game here for Power. Which means that their next basket would send them to the playoffs. Six points right now for Glenn Rice Jr. here today.
Hey guys, one thing to look at. If they hit a 4-point shot and Power gets 53, Aliens would be eliminated.
If they hit the 4-point shot, yeah, good call on that.
Yeah, so they just have to make sure they don't give up a 4 for game winner.
Scal, appreciate the math.
Love that math down at USC, baby.
Don't forget to carry the 1. It's a great point, though. Glenn Rice Jr. whistled for the foul. That's team foul number 5, so the next one. Aliens will be shooting some free throws. Killer Threes watching this one. I'm hoping that Aliens loses by 10 or more. They would be in the playoffs. Backing it down. Ivosef missed the layup.
The easiest shot of the afternoon for Ivosef, and he lost a little concentration that time.
Glenn Rice Jr. wants to take it. What do you think? Getting the screen from White. Taking it left side. Rice Jr. flips it up. Power is in the playoffs.
Jr. Your final score, Power,
off the fingertips of Glenn Rice Jr., who finishes with 28.
And how about this? Ironically, this is the same score as the first game. 51-43.
You're right. From week 6.
Yeah, so from week 6. So it wasn't pretty at the end for Power because Aliens, being professionals, made a run. Nancy Lieberman kind of regathered her troops and got the focus back. And it was Glenn Rice Jr. who kind of started the party and finished the party here.
And if our math is right, it's a +8 differential. So Aliens, if our math is right, Scout, Aliens is also in the playoffs.
Okay, so here we go.
There's your teams.
Yep.
3-headed monsters that will compete for that number 1 seed. Trilogy, Power, and Aliens. Wrap it up. Those are the teams that you'll see next weekend in Tampa. For Jim Jackson, Brian Scalabrine, our entire crew, our producer Brian Sealing, our director Alana Campbell, I'm Lisa Byington. Next on CBS, the Wyndham Championship. This has been a presentation of CBS.